Okay, welcome everybody to this meeting. Item one, to review the pension fund annual report. But firstly, apologies.
Apologies from Trish Fenton.
Okay, thank you. Declarations of interest. Well, I think
yeah,
the usual ones, members of the parish pension fund.
Yeah, that's myself,
Chair.
And,
okay,
and Councillor Hugh.
And Councillor Kennelly.
Yeah, you got that, Rachel? Thank you.
Chair.
Item 3, minutes of the last meeting. They've been circulating. Everyone happy with them? Thank you, Hugh. Yep. Seconder?
Yeah, happy.
Thank you, all happy. Thank you. Item 4, the pension fund annual report, which has been circulated to you. Good reading for you all. Consider the pension fund annual report. So how do you progress from here, Chris?
I'm going to hand over to Dan to steer the ship on this occasion, if that's okay. Dan and his team worked very hard on producing the annual reports, together with input from the pensions admin team, so my team as well. It's a joint effort, and what you've got presented in front of you today is a combination of quite a lot of hard work that's gone on behind the scenes. But I'll hand over to Dan to take us through the covering report and the actual annual report, if that's okay.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, Dan. Welcome.
Hi all. Good afternoon. Yeah, so the annual report, we brought a draft version to you in October the 6th. The requirement annually is to provide or publish the annual report by the 1st of December. Governance and Audit Committee are constitutionally required to sign off the accounts, which form a large part of the annual report. They met on the 24th last week, having had the audited pension fund accounts. Those audited pension fund accounts, Audit Wales have given an unqualified opinion. So Governance and Audit Committee signed off the accounts last week. The Auditor General was due to sign them yesterday, and I believe that has taken place. So today we're looking for committee approval to approve the annual return. We need to publish this by the 1st of December. In addition to the accounts, there's various documentations in it, chairman's statement, the board chairman's report. There's lots of statistical information included as well, and there's also a section from WPP, which is coordinated across all their constituent authorities making up the Wales Pension Partnership. So I wasn't going to propose anything more. I suppose one other piece of assurance is the Audit Wales, as they audit the accounts, they also look at the annual return for consistency. So within their report that they provided to Governance and Audit Committee on the accounts last week, they also state that the annual report is consistent with their findings of the accounts. So
okay.
Today, so asking today that the committee approves the accounts or considers and approves them. Councillor
Yeah, well, I didn't pick up on the October meeting, but I wasn't aware that we'd done not a loss, but we hadn't it was a negative return for the year.
Yeah, obviously the main movements in the accounts are generally the valuations, and this year the main. It was a £38 million loss in the valuation of the fund from the previous year, which was basically the movement on the investments that we've got.
Was that specific to a certain sector or not?
It's pretty much generally across the board. We tend to look at the performance. There's a performance chart in there. Hedge funds perform particularly well, and I think generally pretty much most of the other asset classes were either just underperforming the benchmark or considerably below it. I think if we were to look, I think it's page 28 of the report pack looks at the performance, I suppose, looking at the 1 year.
So how does that compare to, how are the figures now compared to the ones as at March?
Yeah, I think the valuation of the fund is fairly static from where it was at the end of March.
Okay.
Nothing's things have moved far. You okay with that, Errol?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Jane?
I was just wondering, I don't know if Dan's got anything to hand. If not, it might be able to share it after the meeting. But have you got any idea, Dan, in terms of our performance compared to other funds across Wales?
I think we shared the PERC report and how we're comparing. I'd have to review back and feed back to everyone as to where we were in the Welsh sort of league tables. Obviously, we're invested in a lot of similar investments at the moment, except for the private markets, but we're all, I suppose, looking at different allocations and possibly different sub funds within those, so we could see some different, but everyone's asset allocation will be different. So I suppose it would be interesting to see how we fare over a 1 year and the longer period.
But with the PERC, we don't seem to be moving fast. We seem to be static where we are really at the moment, don't we? It's sorry, everybody's moved. Sorry, Jane, is that a legacy hand, Jane? Or
no, it's a fresh hand, but Chris
on,
could
Jane.
go first and I'll come in.
I'll go on, Chris.
Okay, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Jane. Yeah, with regards to the PERC report, we did share it when it came in a few weeks ago now. I remember having a quick look then, and we weren't at the bottom of the table in Wales. But it's important to remember, as I know you do, that we all have different approaches to risks and equity allocations and whatnot. And I think the market in general just struggled over the past 12 months. It has picked up a bit now, and I think we should see some more positive returns coming through if things carry on the way they're going. But yeah, in terms of the numbers, let's revisit the PERC report and we'll recirculate it so you can have another look at the actual performance amongst the LGPS as a whole. In terms of performance, though, since the last meeting, I have actually met with the investment consultants, and we're looking at putting on an additional, I guess, interim meeting or an additional meeting where we can actually dive deeper into performance and look at the figures in a bit more detail. I'm just conscious that the time we're able to spend at committee meetings looking at performance as an item itself is really tight at the minute, and obviously that's something we really need to get underneath the figures really. So keep your eye out for an additional date appearing at some point for us to all be able to sit down and have a look and work with our investment consultants to get into the figures a bit more.
Yeah, I do think this would be a good way forward. At the end, the performance comes at the end of the meeting, always seem to be rushed, don't we? Okay, Jane, do you want to come in?
Chris has just said exactly what I was going to. I was going to say, you know, there's been challenges over the recent couple of years, but the fact that we're asking questions when we get to the annual statement of accounts on the report, I think is very valid, that we do need to spend some more time as a committee just monitoring that performance. So Chris has already picked up on that, and it's something we'd alerted ourselves to, wasn't it? So we will get that in place.
Thank you very much.
Can I come back quickly, Chair? Another point as well on that one is the next formal training session, I think the WPP is on reporting and performance as well. So there's some more information coming from the pool level as well with regards to this. So yeah, we're a lot of eyes on it. We're looking at best way to try and progress this. So you've got more information as well. Yeah,
so next training session in 2 weeks' time, isn't it? Is that open to everybody?
I think it is. I just need to revisit. Usually it's open to committee and board members. I will recirculate in the next few days, so you've got that fresh and you can add it to your calendars if you haven't already.
Okay.
Is that on the 15th from memory, Chris, or is that not fair? Or is that
something like that? You bear me a second and I will.
Is that a committee meeting?
That's committee meeting. The Wednesday before, so it'll be the 13th for you, I think.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Morning of the 13th, yeah.
Is it? Or is it?
No, sorry, no. Afternoon.
In the morning.
It's the afternoon of the 13th. Yeah, apologies. Afternoon of the 13th.
Okay, then. Any more hands? So we're ready to go to approve annual report?
Chair, there's a lot of information in this report, and I congratulate the staff for compiling it, to be honest. So I think it's a very useful document. I've said it before, you know, it gives us a chance to sort of reflect on what we're doing. So Dan, well, and Chris, really, thank you for it. Like, and I'll propose that we accept it, Chair, if that's appropriate.
Yeah, that the Pension and Investment Committee considers and approves the 22-23 Pension Fund annual report. And the annual report be published by the 1st of December. So Hugh proposes a seconder, please.
I'm
Thanks,
happy.
Errol.
I was quite surprised that there was sort of, well, not a lot of sort of retirees in the last 12 months, really. I thought there might have been a lot more. Is that roughly about the same figure every year? Are we same percentage roughly?
I guess it depends on the age profile, really, Arwell. It's one of those unknowns, really. It does depend on, obviously, individual circumstances, whether they can afford to go and whether they want age profile. It doesn't tend to move too much. But if you were to ask me what was going to happen in the next 12 months, I couldn't predict it.
No. I thought there might have been a lot more retirees, like, isn't it? But you hear a lot of people, oh, they've taken early retirement, but yeah,
the scheme's offers good flexibility. So from age 55 now, members can voluntarily retire, whereas it used to be before 60, you need your employer's consent.
Yeah.
Now you can voluntarily go from 55. So it's definitely opened that window, which I guess makes it available to more people. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've had a proposal sector. Members, you all happy?
Happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Lovely. Well, that concludes our meeting. It's a nice